Hey there, it's Bobby Legs, and welcome to another episode of Bobby Legs Loves Watches. And today, you and I will be taking a look at the TISSOT PRX POWERMATIC 80. So about a year and a half ago, a friend sent in a PRX quartz version for review. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, wow, I was very impressed with that timepiece. Sure, the second hand didn't hit all the marks, but for $300 at MSRP and whatever you got for it with a discount, I remember that watch definitely feeling way more luxurious than the price point, and it definitely punched higher or above its weight for sure. Fast forward now, we have here the automatic version of the PRX, 40 millimeter case diameter. Got a width here of the case of around 44.3. The real length of this watch, in my opinion, is the 51.2 millimeter here with the end links included in that calculus. 11.2 millimeter case thickness. Lug width of 12 millimeters, and that odd size is because you do have this integrated bracelet style going on here with the case and bracelets. Quick release bars, spring bars here, so you can change out with a strap, and I think TISSOT has PRX straps available on their site, or they will. I know D-Lugs straps is selling them. They're based out of Southeast Asia. They're not cheap. They're around 100 to 155, depending on the kind of strap that you use or select the material. But they are good looking and could give it your PRX a nice pop for sure. 316L. Stainless steel case and bracelet, smooth bezel here. Nice taper down on the bracelet to this butterfly clasp, this nicely done milled butterfly clasp. Push pin system here with the links, and I know that's intimidating to some, especially the first couple times you do it. If you have the right tools, you'll get through it, and I actually prefer it over like pin and collar and whatnot. So don't be intimidated. Now trying to dial in and getting a nice fit, especially with a butterfly clasp, can be a challenge for some. And TISSOT has half links here on either side of the clasp to help you dial it in for sure. Let's look back here at the case. You have an exhibition case back, and this is showcasing the POWERMATIC 80.11, which is a derived from the ETA 2824. So you got a 23 joule, 28,800 beats per hour movement. The power reserve is 80 hours of power reserve here. And you have a patented Nivacron balance spring. You see some etching on the rotor there, the TISSOT rotor. 100 meter water power reserve. Nice knurl on the crown. It's a little small, but you can get a good grip on it. This is not a screw down crown. But you still get that 100 meter power, 100 meter water resistance. First position will wind it. Second position will change date. Third position will change the time. Now let's get talking about this dial. You have this Clou de Paris green dial. And I remember when I took this out of the box initially, I thought it was a black dial. I was inside dim lighting and it looks very, very dark. But once you play with the light a little bit and you expose it to some outdoor light, you'll see it really pop in certain angles for sure. And I like, again, I mentioned the Clou de Paris. I like it. I like this pattern. It's reminiscent of a Laureato, Girard Perregaux Laureato, one of my favorite watches out there. And I just love that look, how it plays on the dial. Got lume on the hands and on the markers, the hour markers. 3 o'clock window. The disc is white, as you can see, for the date, which normally, bothers me a little bit. I mean, I prefer the date disc to match the dial, but here it's not so much of an issue for me. I think it's nicely placed along the 3, and it matches the white of the indices and the hands, the lume parts of those that I just mentioned. TISSOT 1853 written up top here. Right above the 6 o'clock, you have PRX POWERMATIC 80, Swiss made at the bottom here. Now let's throw this on wrist. Now I found the quartz version of this watch fit excellent. It was light as a feather, and the links here, the bracelet was just very, very comfortable. And I get that same sensation here, a little bubbling in the bottom here because of the exhibition case back. The watch sits on my wrist on the case back as opposed to the case of the watch, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. Back to the bracelet, and it feels so very comfortable and very nice. I mean, look at the articulation here. So it's going to be very, very comfortable, this watch. Let's get a weight on this. And again, this is size for my 6 3/4 inch wrist. Let's see if this ever zeroes out here. There we go. And 130 grams. And that's deceptively 132 grams as it sits. It's deceptive because it doesn't feel that much. Maybe it's because of the way it sits on my wrist. A couple of things here that may be some negatives or room for improvement, I think. And if you have a small wrist, let's say 6 inches or less, it's going to feel a little bit big because of this lug to lug, or this true length here from end link to end link. As well as if you are a bigger wrist, it may be harder for you to dial in the size here. And that's a complaint that I've heard from a couple of my friends who have wrist sizes above 7.5 inches that they have trouble dialing it in, the sizing. So this watch, it seems like the sweet spot is probably around 6 inches to 7.5 inches, which is a big range, and a lot of people fall in between that. But if it doesn't bother you that it hangs over your wrist a little bit, and if you have a big wrist and you can get it close to being dialed in, I mean, this is a great watch to own. Again, it feels a lot more luxurious than the price point, as did the quartz version of the watch. One gripe I do have here, and it's the exhibition case back. The great thing about the quartz version was that it was so thin and light. And I think they could have achieved at least the thinness part here by going with a solid screw down case back. Look, nobody is knocking down the doors to see this movement here. And perhaps maybe this watch is more geared for someone who is not so much into watches, or who is a beginning collector who may appreciate seeing the movement here. But if you're an experienced collector and you've seen some great movements on some case backs, you can live without this one for sure. And I'd rather have that thinness as opposed to having this view of this movement. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think. Please put a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. If my channel is new to you and you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and click that bell icon to get updates when I upload new videos. I love making these videos, and I hope you like them too. And also, if you want to support the channel, please buy me a cup of coffee. The link is in the description. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.